Let's take a look at another example to illustrate the concepts of object-oriented programming that we have just discussed. This program defines a class of bank accounts that has a balance and an owner who can make deposits to and withdrawals from the account. Even if you don't have a bank account, the ideas described here could be used for other financial instruments that could be used for depositing and withdrawing money, even for piggy banks. Although withdrawing money from a piggy bank could be a little more difficult. The first line of the program is to import the I/O class like what we have done in the previous programs so that we can do input and output on the console. It is followed by a comment block using the Java doc format. You'll see later that such comments in different sections of the program will allow the generation of a Java doc for the bank account class. The first line after the comment is the declaration of a class with the name bank account using the keyword class. The name bank account is an identifier with upper camel case. The actual definition of bank account is enclosed in a pair of curly braces, which begins with some declaration of instant variables. These variables captures some important properties about different instances of bank accounts. In this case, two instance variables are declared here. Balance is a variable of double type for storing the current balance of a bank account, which is initialized to 0. The second instance variable is owner, which is of string type and is given an initial value of no name. Notice that no name is enclosed in a pair of double quotes to denote that it is a character string. You will see a lot of character strings in the coming lectures, and I'll discuss the details of character strings in week 7. Notice also that both declarations begin with access modifier private. Instant variables are usually declared as private unless there's a good reason for making them public. It is easy to see that in the case of a bank account, its balance and ownership information shouldn't be made publicly accessible to everyone. Following the instance variable declarations is the declaration of constructors. Two constructors are defined here. Remember that the class name, in this case bank account, is used as the name of the constructors. The first one is a default constructor for creating a new bank account object with 0 balance and no name as owner. Notice that it takes no parameter inside a pair of parentheses. The second constructor takes 2 parameters. The first one, initial balance, is of double type, and the second, name, is of string type. This second constructor will change the balance of bank account to the value given by initial balance. This is like when a new account is set up, the initial amount will be deposited into the account. The account is also given the owner's name as specified by the second parameter. The rest of the program is method definitions. 3 methods will be defined here. The first one is deposit, which is used for depositing money to the bank account. It takes one parameter, the amount of double type, which is the amount to be deposited to the account. The statement here adds the amount to the instant variable balance, and the result is assigned back to balance. The second method is called withdraw, which can be used to withdraw money from a bank account. It takes one parameter, W amount, of double type, which is the amount to be withdrawn from the account. The statement here will subtract W amount to the instant variable balance, and the result is assigned back to balance. The third method is get balance, which gets the value of the current balance of a bank account. This method takes no parameter. Notice that, different from the previous 2 methods, get balance returns a value of type double, as specified by the type of the method, while the 2 previous methods are given the void type because they don't return any value. The value of balance is returned by the method using the statement here with the keyword return. A method like this, which returns the value of a private field, is often called an accessor or getter method. The previous 2 methods, which modified the value of a private field, are often called rotator or setter methods. The use of accessor annotator could help enforce data encapsulation and protect the fields from being accidentally modified. Now that we have finished defining the bank account class, this is like finishing a recipe. To actually produce something edible, we will have to mix the ingredient and to do some actual cooking. Slight variations in the mix of ingredient could produce different results. For example, you could use different amount of sugar or use margarine instead of butter in baking cookies to produce different cookies or different instances of objects. Let's actually try to create some bank accounts using the bank account class that we have just defined. We can create different bank accounts by using different constructors or providing the constructors with different parameters. This is like using different mix of ingredients for your recipe. Here, we are writing a main method for testing different bank accounts. The main method is the entry point to a Java program, and this statement is the same as the ones that you have seen in other programs. To create a bank account, you have to first give the bank account an identifier name. In this case, we call this bank account test account. This is similar to declaring a variable of primitive type, such as int or double. In this case, test account is declared as a variable of bank account type, but it has not been initialized to any value. To actually create a new bank account, the keyword new is used followed by a constructor. Here, we use the default constructor without any parameter. This constructor will create a bank account with zero balance and no name as the value for owner. Actually, you can do both declaration and initialization in one statement. The effect of this is the same as before. After an account is created, one can make a deposit to the account by calling the method deposit. Since there could be multiple accounts, in order to specify that the deposit is to be made to this particular account test account, the dot operator or the period is used to specify that the deposit method to be used is for the test account object. In object-oriented programming terminology, this is sometimes referred to as message passing. We have also specified the amount to be deposited. In this case, $100. We can make a withdrawal by using the withdraw method, again by using the dot operator to indicate that this is for the object test account, and the amount to be withdrawn is $50. The io.outputLint statement here is to output the resulting balance after the two transactions. There are three parts of the message to be printed out. The first is the name of the owner for test account, again by using the dot operator between test account and the instance variable owner. The second is a character string enclosed in double quote. The third is the amount of balance for the test account. Notice that the instance variable balance is of type double, so it will be converted to a character string before being printed out. The two plus signs between the three components will concatenate the three character strings together. I want also to create another account for myself. Let's call this my account. Again, the keyword new before a constructor is used to create a new bank account. Notice that although the name of the constructor is the same as before, two parameters are used in invoking this constructor. The compiler can tell that we are using the second constructor by examining the number and types of parameters. In this case, the initial balance is set to 100 and the name of the owner is set to TC. That is my name. Notice that TC is put inside a pair of double quotes because the second parameter is expecting a character string. Similar to before, a deposit of $100 is made, but this time to my account instead of test account. A withdrawal of $50 is also made to my account. The resulting balance for my account is then output using io.outputLint, similar to before. So this is the end of the entire program. Let's take a look at the actual execution of the program.